A nation's dawn, declaring independence. In 1776, 13 British colonies in North America declared their independence. This momentous decision was not made lightly. It was the result of a long and arduous journey, filled with debates, protests, and a growing sense of unity among the colonists. The desire for self-governance and the dream of a nation free from British rule had been simmering for years. This bold act was the culmination of years of growing tension with Great Britain. The colonies had endured numerous injustices, from unfair taxation without representation to the imposition of restrictive laws. The British Crown's refusal to address the grievances of the colonists only fueled their determination to seek independence. The colonists, feeling increasingly oppressed by British rule, chose to forge their own path. They organized town meetings, formed committees of correspondence, and engaged in acts of civil disobedience. The famous Boston Tea Party, where colonists dumped British tea into the harbor, was a powerful symbol of their resistance. This declaration, enshrined in the document, now known as the Declaration of Independence, marked the birth of the United States of America. The Continental Congress, representing the 13 colonies, convened in Philadelphia to draft this historic document. It was a bold statement of their intent to break free from British rule and establish a new nation based on the principles of liberty and justice. It proclaimed the ideals of liberty, equality, and self-governance. The Declaration of Independence was not just a declaration of separation, it was a declaration of values. It articulated the belief that all men are created equal and endowed with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This pivotal moment set the stage for a tumultuous yet ultimately triumphant struggle for freedom. The Revolutionary War that followed was a grueling conflict, pitting the fledgling American forces against the might of the British Empire. Despite the odds, the determination and resilience of the American people carried them through. The Declaration of Independence, primarily penned by Thomas Jefferson, stands as a testament to the values upon which the nation was founded. Jefferson's eloquent words captured the spirit of the Revolution and the aspirations of a new nation. His vision of a government that derives its power from the consent of the governed became a cornerstone of American democracy. It asserts the inherent rights of all individuals to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These principles have resonated through the centuries, inspiring countless movements for justice and equality. The Declaration's assertion that governments are instituted to secure these rights has been a guiding light for those seeking to create a more just and equitable society. This revolutionary document resonated far beyond the shores of the newly formed nation. Its impact was felt around the world as people in other countries looked to the American example as a beacon of hope. The ideals of the Declaration inspired revolutions and movements for independence in places as diverse as France, Latin America, and beyond. It became a beacon of hope for oppressed peoples around the world, inspiring them to fight for their own freedom and autonomy. The Declaration's message of universal human rights and the right to self-determination resonated with those who yearned for liberation from tyranny and oppression. The ideas enshrined in the Declaration continue to shape the American identity and influence political discourse to this day. The principles of liberty, equality, and self-governance remain central to the American ethos. As the nation continues to evolve, the Declaration of Independence serves as a reminder of the enduring values that define the United States of America. Forging a nation, the Revolutionary War. This monumental conflict, spanning from 1775 to 1783, was a defining moment in American history. It was a time when the 13 American colonies rose up against the British Empire, seeking to break free from the shackles of colonial rule and establish their own independent nation. The Declaration of Independence, signed on July 4, 1776, ignited a fierce conflict known as the Revolutionary War. This document, penned by Thomas Jefferson and adopted by the Continental Congress, boldly proclaimed the colonies' right to self-governance and their intention to sever ties with Britain. It was a radical declaration that set the stage for a brutal and protracted war. The colonists, though outmatched in resources and manpower, were determined to secure their independence. They were driven by a profound sense of injustice and a desire for liberty. Farmers, tradesmen, and ordinary citizens took up arms, forming militias and joining the Continental Army. Their resolve was unyielding, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Led by General George Washington, the Continental Army faced the might of the British Empire. Washington's leadership was instrumental in galvanizing the colonial forces. His strategic acumen and unwavering commitment to the cause inspired his troops, even during the darkest days of the war. The Continental Army, though often underfed, underpaid, and ill-equipped, fought valiantly under his command. The war raged for 8 long years, testing the resolve and resilience of the fledgling nation. Battles were fought across the colonies, from the northern reaches of New York to the southern fields of Georgia. The winter encampment at Valley Forge in 1777 to 1778 was a particularly grueling period where the Continental Army endured severe cold, hunger, and disease. Yet it was also a time of training and strengthening, as the troops emerged more disciplined and battle-ready. Despite facing setbacks and hardships, the Continental Army persevered, ultimately securing victory against the odds. Key battles, such as the Battle of Saratoga in 1777, marked turning points in the war, bolstering colonial morale and securing crucial French support. The final victory came with the British surrender at Yorktown in 1781, a momentous event that effectively ended major combat operations. The Revolutionary War was a crucible from which the United States emerged as a sovereign nation. The triumph was celebrated with great fervor as the American flag was raised and independence was declared. Monuments and memorials were erected to honor the sacrifices made and the battles fought. The war had forged a new national identity, rooted in the principles of freedom and self-determination. The victory over Great Britain came at a great cost, with countless lives lost and sacrifices made. The war left deep scars on the nation, with many families mourning the loss of loved ones. Memorials and grave sites serve as somber reminders of the price of freedom. The sacrifices of these early patriots laid the foundation for the nation's future. However, the triumph also solidified the principles of self-determination and popular sovereignty. The ideals of liberty and democracy, for which the colonists had fought so fiercely, became the bedrock of the new nation. Early political gatherings and symbols of liberty reflected the newfound sense of unity and purpose among the American people. The newly formed government, operating under the Articles of Confederation, faced the daunting task of uniting 13 distinct colonies into a cohesive nation. The Articles provided a framework for governance, but they also revealed the challenges of creating a unified national government. The fledgling nation grappled with issues of state sovereignty, economic stability, and political representation. This period laid the groundwork for the drafting of the United States Constitution, a document that has shaped the country's governance for over 2 centuries. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 brought together some of the brightest minds of the era, who debated and crafted a new framework for government. The resulting constitution established a system of checks and balances, ensuring that no single branch of government could dominate. It enshrined the principles of democracy, justice, and liberty, guiding the nation through its subsequent growth and development.